What's happening with Star Citizen now for 3.18? Why is it still delayed? Where is Star Citizen now for 3.18? That is my comment section, sort of, at the moment. Alpha 3.18 is still planned to be released in 2022, at least according to Cloud Imperium. There have been problems getting a stable build that's appropriate for the first wave of PTU, but Cloud Imperium have been working on fixing that build, and other bugs and tweaks for the patch beyond just the first wave PTU test. They're getting it ready for a live release as well as a first wave PTU sort of test. So those first wave PTUs, those open PTU tests, they are there to catch a load more bugs and get lots of extra bits sort of stress tested and sorted. So there's a lot of stuff they can work on beyond that, even without it being released. The patch has been delayed multiple times over 2022, though, mainly due to its complexity and importance of the persistent entity streaming systems, the cargo factor, things like that. But there's obviously a load of other features in 3.18. I'm hopeful that we're going to see 3.18 live still by the end of the year. That said, Cloud Imperium would need to move quickly. I believe that they are in crunch time at the moment. There's a lot of people that are working in the offices. I've seen some tweets go out from Cloud Imperium staff members that are sort of like having a hard time of it this week. But they are trying to push it out by the end of the year. There's going to be a lot of forced holidays starting on the 23rd of December, though. So really, that's the cutoff point for the last time we could have 3.18 by the end of the year. Will it be ready? Well, if not, then I would expect an open PTU for 3.18 to be available most likely. In the recent Inside Star Citizen, Cloud Imperium showed us some new footage of Alpha 3.18 and hyped the various new issues. Salvage with ships and multi-tool attachments, so you can do it by hand, you can do it in ships, you can use the Reclaimer to do it, you can use the new Vulture to do it. Destroyed ships will be salvageable, but also there will be salvage sites that spawn around the verse. The cargo refactor has its first iteration. This physicalizes commodity cargo and makes trade terminals better, but also adds soft destruction, having ships more often permanently disabled after a decisive fight than exploding. And then you can have boarding actions that can take place because players will survive those soft destructions, although NPC crews will be killed still. There's the PTV little grey cat buggy racetrack at the Vision Center at Orison if you want to do some silly racing. Security Post Kreia has been overhauled with guards and defenses and a load more gameplay there. There's a big focus on the criminal system, and that's going to be dialed in a lot more. It's going to be a lot more forgiving to players that shouldn't get criminal ratings. There's more ways to escape prison as well, and there's a lot of sandbox gameplay that have been added to prisons. There's 6 new PU race courses around the verse, so there are some awesome points of interest there too. So even if you're not interested in racing, maybe you just want to watch races, maybe you just want to have a look at these new points of interest. There's also new time trials and missions associated with these too. Talking of missions, how about the ones at the platforms at Orison? Basically, smaller scale FPS combat, Siege of Orison events that you can just get into, take a mission from Orison, which is fantastic because you've got a hospital there, you've got a respawn point there, you can spawn there as a new character, and assuming that a mission is running that you can take there, go take that mission. Really looking forward to those. There are new sand caves, the new Daymar crash site with the 600i and the Mercury Star Runner relics, and sort of like a little villagey outposty there. We have the Gen 12 renderer for a sort of platform for Vulcan to be built on in the future, but this is also going to alleviate CPU bottlenecks somewhat in 3.18. A load of new sort of tech is just on the cusp of being completed too. We've got persistent entity streaming. That's a big step towards server meshing, but also at this stage, it's going to save server states and track objects, so you could start to pile up picos in a canyon. And that said, you might not be able to get into the same server that you did that in, so it's cool, but lacks some of the needed parts to be useful to players to use properly at the moment. That said, again, there could be lots of cool stuff that you find around the verse that players have started to do. They are building towards increasing player and resource caps and new star systems like the Nyx and Pyro system as well. We know that there is going to be Jumpdown 2.0 in Alpha 3.18, so this is going to be sort of having the points of interest there at Jumptown and the other locations for that getting much, much bigger, having 2 dispensaries now. They want to make that event big. There is a full wipe coming with Alpha 3.18, so that's a lot of people's chances to start fresh. Others will dread the loss of Alpha UEC merits, ships, and reputation that they've earned in-game over this quite long 3.17 cycle. There is, however, a ton of work that Cloud Imperium need to do after 3.18 goes out. Obviously, there's going to be lots of little updates and iterations and bugs that they'll discover after it goes live. We often get a 3.18.1 or 0.1 patch pretty soon after a patch has been released, but the earliest we'd get this is probably mid-January, unless it's something terrible that sort of breaks the game. In the short term, though, Cloud Imperium are going to be having scheduling meetings, and we should see a big roadmap update and the tone for the year sort of starting to come to us early February. So February 8th, I believe, is the sort of big starting of the year roadmap update. Then the next steps for Star Citizen's development are to iterate and evolve the cargo refactor system. Cloud Imperium wants times and costs associated with loading and unloading cargo and those large 32 SCU-sized boxes so that they can be moved on and off ships like the Raft, and assumedly we'll have tractor beam facilities and ship-scale tractor beams for that. Salvage will need various dialing in as they expand that gameplay loop out. We know that Cloud Imperium are having more teams working on Pyro, server meshing, and Alpha 4.0 as priorities, starting Q1 2023. And there are other things that Cloud Imperium will be working on throughout the year. The resource management system is also key here, with engineering gameplay, damage control, life support, fires, putting out fires, the circuitry of ships, and physical components all being sort of combined together with a load more. Master modes, too, with the new nav mode and flight combat mode changes that are coming. The big, huge sweeping changes, sort of hopefully finalizing the sort of flight and combat modes, or at least cementing them a bit more. They want to start setting some stuff in a bit more stone. I say that, but obviously they want to chisel in a bit of iteration and improvement and polishing there as well. Because obviously balance and all that stuff can't be finalized until we have most of the gameplay systems in place. We will do a deep dive into Star Citizen development and the next steps after 3.18 in another video later this year. There's actually quite a lot to talk about and expand on. But yeah, that all said, Alpha 3.18 being delayed so much this year has been a big shame. But it's because of how important and complex some of those features were, with persistent entity streaming and the cargo refactor paving the way for Alpha 4.0. So let's hope we get 3.18 in our hands by the end of the year. But what do you think? Will we have 3.18 in our hands soon? Or not soon? Will 2023 see Cloud Imperium actually release Pyro and 4.0? Do you love Star Citizen but are sad when stuff gets delayed and how slow the development is? Or do you think Star Citizen will never be released because it'll take 30 years and then by that time the world will be on fire? Or are you like me and you love the project, warts and all, whether it's dramatic or something goes wrong or something goes right? There is somebody at my door, but don't worry about that. We're signing off for this video. Who's at the door? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Do you have eyes? I know I do. Do you want precise eye and head tracking that's natively supported in Star Citizen for that deep immersion? And it just so happens that Tobii Eye Tracker 5 has a 20% off sale until the 2nd of January 2023. So go to tobii.gg/BoredGamer or follow the links down below to get your discount.
Ho ho ho! Merry Nordmas!
It's Santa!
No, Timmy, it's Father Nordmas. I'm legally distinct and spread NordVPN cheer. Here you go, little Tim. Have some discount on your next NordVPN purchase. Just what you wanted. Go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer.
But Santa, we don't want a VPN.
I told you, Tim, it's Father Nordmas.
Every month we have a ship giveaway. For December, we are giving away the mighty Drake Corsair Explorer with a Star Citizen game package and lifetime insurance. This no-nonsense Explorer can take you and 3 friends to the limits of adventure around the verse, and although more focused on exploration and expedition, it is a great multi-role mission runner too. Comment on any of my videos during December to be in for a chance of winning that. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Please don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the videos, leave comments, and if you feel so inclined, use the join button under my videos and give a little bit each month to help the channel. It really, really does help. Or you can even become a Patreon or donate. Check out all the links below. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great time in the verse.